Last week on HMP, we reviewed Jaws from 1975, a movie so big that it changed the landscape of cinema. But who knew that less than a decade later, Steven Spielberg would do it all over again? So grab your Reese's Pieces and turn on your heart light. It's time for Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Welcome back, you dirty babies. It's time for another Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a show with a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Porters, and joining me today, his name is Sweet Shanta Kovacs from the internet.
We're all going to die here, and they're never going to give me my license.
Listen, my favorite part is I've only driven backwards before. We saw you drive forward 2 feet. 2 feet. You just add a whole bunch of extra feet to that. I don't know what the really big deal is. Well, welcome back, everybody. Bruce is out again this week, and he's really mad. Just to be honest with you, he has at least expressed to us that he is mad that he hasn't been here for, Steven Spielberg months so far, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just, jump at the chance to go, hey, you're going to watch Jaws and E.T. Who doesn't go, oh no, I get to watch two of the greatest movies ever? No, thank you. No, everyone's going to enjoy that. But hopefully you guys have gotten to see E.T. again. Sean, how long has it been since you'd seen this movie?
So if you were to ask me that question yesterday afternoon, I would have been a little fuzzy, and I would have said to you, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 years. But after watching it last night, I can tell you, not since I was a kid.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Well, MVD in the chat had kind of the same experience, and I think a couple other folks have as well. But me, this is one that I've just constantly watched throughout my entire life. This is one of the movies I've seen, like Jaws, a gajillion times. There's no real way to kind of quantify how many it's been at this point. For those of you that are interested, a couple weeks ago, because that's why I was just like, oh no, I'm not sure I want to watch E.T. yet again. I did a video talking about E.T. coming out in 4K, and it'd been a while. It'd been sitting on my shelf for a bit, and I hadn't actually sat down to watch it. I sat down to watch it. Looked amazing, and I go through all the different, versions of the home video and stuff that they had, Spielberg, changing things and stuff like that. So that video, I'll link that in the show notes here so people will be able to check that out, just to see, kind of a visualization of some of the home video things of E.T. But man, I was like, I don't know that I want to watch this again so fast, but boy, I am so glad that I did. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it yet again, but it's a movie that I rarely ever get tired of watching, but we'll jump into all that. But before we do get to our review, we want to remind people that this is a live show every Sunday evening over on YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern. Why don't you come out and be one of the dirty babies in the chat? We got MVD and Alex hanging out as they always do. Thanks for hanging out there, fellas. And they're moderators. Did I ever tell you that? I made them moderators. That's why you see the little wrench behind their name whenever they show up. They got the right to kick out the people that are saying, the horrible things, which happens from time to time. It's
what?
The end.
Really?
What are you gonna do?
I'm kidding.
That's why I had to make them moderators, because I was just like, hey, if anybody starts spamming stuff, just throw some things in there, will you? It doesn't happen often, but hey, we could use a couple of more spammers here. I'll be honest with you, just to have some sort of interaction going on. That's all I would like a little bit. We'll get the interaction, then we ban you and we move on. But we do want to thank you to all the people that do show up for the live stream, and we appreciate it. And if you'd really like to help support this show, why don't you head on over to patreon.com/HMP. There you get the pre-show, post-show, and the Dinger Zone. This week's Dinger Zone, we are talking our top 5 movies that everyone loves but you hate. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited for this. We are going to ruffle some feathers. I want everybody to come up with their best answers in the chat here for us. Hang out after the show and submit those along, because I want us all to look at whatever you say and be mad. That's because isn't that the best part of someone going like, oh, I hate this movie and everyone else loves it, and then you can chastise them for hating a fantastic movie. That's at least how I look at it.
Well, here's the way that it came about, right? And this is the reason why this is our top 5 list this week, is that as hard as this might be to believe for people who really know me, I have a bit of social anxiety from time to time. And so, especially if I'm in a place where I don't know anybody. And so to combat that, I come up with a questionnaire of to get to know people. And so, it'll be anything from like the old psychological question: if you had the if you had the superpower to learn to learn how to fly or to be invisible, which would you choose and why? Right? Like it would be that, and then sometimes it would be like, hey, what's the last funny movie you've seen? Like, what's the funniest movie you've seen in the last 5 years? Stuff like that. And then once you're in that getting to know you phase, the next question I would ask people, and I did this for years, was what is a movie you hate that everyone loves? And the responses were always really funny. I have a friend who I have known for years who told me his answer was, I hate The Usual Suspects because the entire movie is a lie. I just found that so funny. Like, I love that. Like movies are real. Like, I just love that. And he works in film.
Goes, this movie bamboozled me.
And he works in film, and I can't use the actual words he used because, and that stupid coffee mug is just rotating in slow motion, falling out of his hand, and I'm just screaming at my TV screen, "Screw you, movie! Screw you!" It's so funny. And the one that I always remember is that there's a guy that I know now, and I had asked him this question, and what he had said, and the one that surprised me the most was, the movie I hate that everyone loves is E.T. And well, basically what this person is telling me is, I don't know how to deal with emotions. Like, that's literally what this movie is. Because if you see this movie when you're a kid and this movie is magical, then you're basically saying, I don't know how to deal with my emotions. Like, that's why you hate this movie. You might not love E.T., totally understandable, especially now. But for someone who is this person's age saying that they hated E.T., he was telling me who he actually was. And so, like, it always, whenever somebody brings up E.T. now, he's literally the first person I think of. And so we had to do this top 5 this week.
Listen, that's amazing. That's an amazing kind of person right there. That, like, and to be comfortable telling that to other people,
But he didn't know. Like, he doesn't know that's why he hates it. He says he hates the movie, and he gives a couple of, like, blah 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 reasons. But, like, the actual reason why is because it makes you emotional when you're a child watching the movie, and he just didn't know what to do with that. And that's why he hates it.
I do hate my dad. All right, let's get into it, everybody. Here is the IMDb plotline for E.T. As we always know, IMDb 100% correct in everything they say and or do. A troubled child summons the courage to help a friendly alien escape from Earth to return to his home planet. Not bad, IMDb. Starring Dee Wallace, Peter Coyote, Robert McNaughton, C. Thomas Howell, Drew Barrymore, and Henry Thomas, who I honestly believe probably should have gotten an Academy Award nomination at least for Elliot here.
No kidding, man. It's unreal. One of the best child performances ever.
Stupid ass Henry Fonda had to finally get his Oscar. Blah, blah, blah. We get it. This is written by Melissa Matheson, who also did The Black Stallion, a segment on the Twilight Zone, the movie, The Indian in the Cupboard, Kundun, and The BFG. This is
she's married to Harrison Ford? That's the lady?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. This is directed by Steven Spielberg. That's who we're covering this month. And by George, he done did it again, Sean. He done did it again. This movie's good as hell. I can't believe it. I can't. Well, yes, I can. I can believe it because I've seen it so many times. You know what's crazy though? It's like, I don't know if people know this. I didn't talk about this in my physical media video there, where I talk about the differences between E.T. and everything. But E.T. came out in 1982. It did not come out on home video until 1989.
Well, because of Spielberg himself, right? That's the reason why. And there, like, because I can remember, like, finally you can bring him home. You can bring E.T. home, like that kind of thing. I do remember that pitch. I will tell you, I have not seen this movie since I was a kid, which I'm sure I've seen it since it came out. well, actually, probably not. Now that I'm thinking about it, I probably didn't see it, and like at home, I probably didn't do that. So I probably haven't seen this movie since it was in the theater.
So you never saw like the walkie-talkie version, nothing like that?
No.
God bless you.
And I realized that I hadn't seen it since I was a kid because I didn't remember the opening. And that opening is something that I would have remembered as an adult, like where it's just like, oh, okay, like you're seeing flashes and you understand that the ship has landed and ET and all of his ET buddies are like, walking around and stuff. Anyway, once that happened, I then also realized that I probably hadn't seen this because I didn't want the magic ruined. And this is just a guess, like my subconscious is doing this, not me physically. And so I think that I was basically trying to protect myself because I loved ET when I was a kid, like loved it. And so watching it now as an adult, I can safely say that the magic of this movie is gone for me. Like, which when yes, I've worked in the film industry for 30 years and stuff, but just being a normal person who watches a lot of movies, going back to watch this movie, haven't seen it for years and years. There's certain seams that you see as an adult, well, it's clearly a little person that's walking around at ET right now, or, I know that there's also, I don't know why I remember this, but there's also like a kid that didn't have legs but could walk on his hands was ET for a little bit. Like I know that part too. And then there's the other part where it's like, well, that's just a puppet right now. Like all of that, like being able to tell what's happening inside of the ET creature, like that's gone. Also, and this is a really big one for me, which I was not ready for, was being able to tell when it is an adult who's on the bike while the government is chasing them, and it not being Henry Thomas. And
that was the big one. The Henry Thomas bike devil was like all of a sudden he just became a 15-year-old kid real fast.
That is a full-grown man who's.
I know, but just like if you were to just even think, at least he's as old as the other 15-year-old, so he's as big as them. He goes from like 9 to 15 real fast.
Yeah, very much so. So that was surprising to me. Also, I know that Spielberg kind of likes to use the best of the best. So clearly we didn't have any great dog actors yet, because that dog is looking for his trainer just off set and just about every scene in this movie. The dog ain't great. The dog in ET ain't great.
I don't know this for fact, but I would venture to say the dog at the end walking up the track was not something that was.
I would almost 100. I absolutely agree with that thought. Like, well, we'll leave it in anyway. The dog kind of.
It's like that's a little funny, right? Yeah, that's kind of we honestly we couldn't generate that, so let's keep that in. I mean, the dog did go back, so that's fine. Like if the dog went in and just stayed in, it would have been like, all right, we're screwed. We can't take that. But if the dog comes back down and then sits in his spot, okay, we'll leave that. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of stupid Spielbergy magic going on when we're doing that.
Yeah, and I will say this as a credit to ET that I did not notice when I was a kid, but I definitely did as an adult, is Dee Wallace. They kind of frump her up for a while in the movie, and then the Halloween scene happens, and I was like, "Oh, Dee Wallace, hello!"
Right,
right. Oh my goodness.
Dee Wallace is so fine in this flick. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
You're like, oh, whoa, hey.
Because I'm still like kid gogglesing her, like when she's kind of frumpy at the beginning, like I can't look past that.
Just like my ex-mother-in-law.
Until Halloween, and it's like, oh, hello, Dee Wallace. Oh my goodness, is that one of the top 10 most beautiful women I've ever seen? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, so this listen, we're going to be probably jumping around all over the
Hell
place.
yes, we are.
It's
Hell
ET,
yes, we are.
folks, because let's be honest, it's one of the most successful movies of all time. And again, that's one that I should have pulled it up. I had them earlier, but you know how life is. The amount of weeks that this thing stayed in the top 10, it stayed in the theater for well over a year.
I
And
remember you saying that last year
it
or
just
last week.
kept on going. It stayed number one for a bit, then down to it stayed within the top 10, I think, for like 47 weeks in a row. Like just insane numbers and stuff. And Spielberg kind of kept it that way. It's like, all right, we'll just keep, we had a couple of re-releases and stuff. I don't think I ever saw a re-release as a kid, but I do remember the VHS coming out and it kind of being a big deal. It was like, you knew who E.T. was. It was another one of those things that, like, even though it wasn't a home video, E.T. was so in the zeitgeist that, even, a 5-year-old in 19, how old was I? 1987, 8, 9, whatever. I knew about it just because it was
Sure.
omnipresent even.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't go in the early 80s. Like, let's say it's 1985. You're going to see Back to the Future. You could not walk into any store that didn't have ET stuff in it. Like, it was impossible. Like, everywhere you looked, there was ET. Everything, everywhere, always. Like, even in, like, there was like a discounter in my hometown, and there was an entire section that was just ET. Like, everything was all ET at one point. And it was impossible to get around. Also, weirdly, I remember very specifically, I did not pick up an ET toy that day because I got a very realistic looking Uzi shaped water gun that was all black that you could just buy in the store. This is a machine gun that would fool a cop in 1 second.
This is the days before orange tipped fake guns here and everything too.
There was no orange tip. There was
gun.
no nothing. It was just a black Uzi that was a water gun. Yes.
Was it like a Tech 9 kind of?
Yes, it certainly was with the long yeah.
Oh, yeah. Spray and
and my goodness, what a joy that thing was. I got a question for you about that's kind of an impossible question to answer. Is this C. Thomas Howell's best performance in a movie? Because I wouldn't say he's great in it.
No,
but he is in it, and he's not even the worst kid actor in it, But when I think of him, I think of The Outsiders. I think of E.T. Of course,
he's really good in Outsiders. So
I think of Soul Man, of course. Then there's everything he was in as an adult, which is just terrible. But I'm looking at his filmography here. He's got The Outsiders. He's got The Hitcher, which I don't remember him in.
Brother, I got myself a 4K of that bad boy. I was from Australia.
Is he great in it?
Yeah, he is actually. Yeah,
so
you've got what's his nut there? My brain is taking a hike on me. He was in Blade Runner, the bad guy, baddie.
Rutger
Rutger Hauer could not come to our room. Rutger Hauer is the bad guy and everything. He hitchhikes and like takes him hostage and everything. It's crazy. It's a wild ass movie.
Oh, okay. I mean, I saw it a million years ago, but I couldn't remember if he was any good in it.
Homie is panicking. Like, he's in like pure ass panic mode in that movie. It's great.
That's good. If we may, can we circle back around to Henry Thomas?
Yes, please.
So Henry Thomas, probably like top 3 best child performances of all time. You probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's up there for sure.
You've got Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense. You've got Elliot Page in Hard Candy. That's probably a great one too, even though she's she's not a child. She's like 13. I think 14.
But that was more of an older person playing a younger person, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's
It's,
true.
'cause
She's
that,
old,
that
yeah, older than you think, right?
17, 18, something like that. Maybe. I don't even know. I can't. The timeline's off my brain. But yeah, that wasn't like a. I would say like Dakota Fanning and Man on Fire. That's another one.
Oh, that's really good. That's a really
She's
good
amazing.
one. Yes. Yep. Dakota Fanning for sure. Anyway, so Henry Thomas, right? So Henry Thomas, like he's one of those guys, like he just knocks around Hollywood forever, right? And it's not that he's bad in anything he does, like he's not pulling a C. Thomas Howell. Like he's good in those roles. It's just that he's one of those actors that still remarkably looks like he did when he was a child.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have like the weird realistic uncanny valley of a person where you're like, you're supposed to be 10, sir, but you're an adult. And all of that kind of flips on a dime once he starts becoming the good luck charm for Mike Flanagan.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mike Flanagan starts putting him in everything. And of course, wouldn't you know it, he's great in everything that Michael Flanagan puts him in. And so like there's like this bit of resurgence with him, as there should be, because he's a really good actor. It's just that weirdly he still looks like the little kid from E.T. Even right now as I'm talking to you, sir, he still looks a little bit like Elliot from E.T. And so it's kind of cool to see that he has this second act. And I will tell you, as somebody who's worked with him before, he's just like the most chill, like coolest guy. He's exactly what you want him to be on set. Like he's just like, oh yeah, let's okay, good, because he's seen it all. Yeah. He was the biggest star in the biggest movie for 3 years, and like, cool, let's go. Yeah, let's do it. Like, just wants to do the work. He's the best.
I worked with Steven Spielberg, damn it.
Right, exactly. And he's also like, like, because what happens a lot of it, which tells you how good his parents were. They had like really great parents, because he's just like the most normal person in the world who happens to be an actor. And a lot of the time when you're working with people who are child actors or are the children of very famous people, a lot of bad happens a lot of the time, but that just wasn't the case with him. It was really cool.
Yeah, well, Applescruff comes in and says he was great in Psycho 4, Gerald's Game, and Dr. Sleep. I'm so happy to hear that he's cool.
Yeah, he's awesome in Dr. Sleep, man, and had no problem. Oh, sure, I'll be Jack. Sure, like no problem.
Cool. It's one like, especially that segment should not have worked and been.
No, like, and it totally does. And it's crazy that it does.
Really good.
Yeah.
It's almost maddening that you're just like, how did you pull this off? You should not be able to happen, but you did it.
That is the moment where I was literally like, okay, so this Flanagan dude, like we need to pay attention to what he's doing now.
Bottle him up.
Yeah, because this is not a normal filmmaker that he's able to do this successfully. Like it's deftly done. It's correctly done, because like if you try to pull this crap off and you're like even 5% worse at filmmaking than Mike Flanagan, you've just angered every movie nerd in the world.
Yeah, how you walked that tightrope and successfully got to the other side, we'll never know.
Right. And so to have again Henry Thomas kind of, because like it's not like he hates that he's Elliot, but it can't be super awesome that everyone is always going to call him Elliot, especially with the way he looks, because he still looks like Elliot.
See, and at least like DiCaprio kind of like aged out of looking like Jack from Titanic eventually, and that's what we all kind of wanted. We were just like, oh, this cute little boy, can he just kind of? And then when he hit 40, we were all just like, this is it. This is what we wanted. Like right in this era.
I wish when I worked with him, I would have known at the time that the girl that he kisses in the schoolroom was Erica Leniak, because I would have high-fived him. Like, would have totally high-fived him. Because when I watching the scene last night, I was like, that girl is someone went on to do something else, and I don't know what. And so I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, it's the girl who jumps out of the cake in Under Siege. Okay, there you go.
That'll do it, everybody.
Yep.
Speaking of looking exactly the same in so many odd ways, Drew Barrymore, who is just like she looks like it's like, oh, look, a tiny little version of the adult woman we know today. It's so she doesn't look any different, but she looks obviously like an adult, but it's bizarre. It's
it is bizarre. Also, it's weird that her lisp hasn't really been fixed.
No,
she had that lisp forever. It's a little more pronounced, but not a ton more.
No.
As a little kid, couldn't somebody get her to a speech therapist? But she had a lot more going on, so probably speech therapy isn't her biggest concern.
Was getting in the way of me getting to the club that night.
That's true.
What was the Viper Room or something?
Right. Some ridiculous place. So and I will
at 9 years old. It's okay.
I cannot see Drew Barrymore in anything without thinking about Bill Murray in the 35th anniversary for Saturday Night Live, where he's doing the lounge act and he's walking around the crowd like, Star Wars, like that kind of thing. And he comes by Drew Barrymore. And keep in mind, Drew Barrymore, like at this point, is like filming Charlie's Angels and stuff like she's a big star at this point. And like all the troubles are in the past now. And he's like, Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. And he goes, Drew Barrymore, hey, Drew Barrymore. And he puts his hand over his microphone and he goes, we're all so glad you cleaned up. And like just kept moving. and Drew Barrymore, to her credit, and it's why I still like her to this day, Drew Barrymore was howling laughing. She was laughing so hard. And like it had been 15 years since she cleaned up, like from that moment. And oh man, it was so funny. And I think about it every single time I see her in something.
Man, I remember my well, just to let you know, my Drew Barrymore moment as a kid was her flashing Letterman.
Oh yeah.
That's what did it for me. And Green Day was on that episode. I VHS taped that bad boy just to listen to Green Day and stuff. And so then, well,
sure,
you can put two and two together.
Yeah, you sure can. Keep going.
But this, man, she is so good in this, just this naturalistic ass kid performance. But what the crazy part is when you think about it, it's like she just comes from an acting family and stuff. So like, there's always part of you just goes, is it in the DNA? You never really know. Or like, how do you get this like great naturalistic ass performance? Again, Steven Spielberg directing children, which again, at this point, he still does not have.
Right.
He does not have kids, but is still amazingly good at directing them.
The other part to this too is that because of this movie, then he becomes known as, oh, this guy knows how to direct children. And I don't know if that's the case. I think that the casting director really helped him out here, because in other movies where there's kids, the kids aren't always awesome actors. Like, I think that the kids in Jurassic Park are good, but they're not to this level. They're not E.T. level good actors, specifically not Henry Thomas. Like, I think that the girl in Jurassic Park, and we'll get into that next week, is a far better actor than the boy, like way better actor than the boy. And we'll talk about it next week. But week after. What are we doing next week?
We're doing Always next week.
Oh, Always is next week.
Yeah, different little bent for us. We'll see.
I see. I have never seen that movie.
I have. This is the first time for all three of us, so it'll be good.
Oh, all right. When I worked at a video store, that was one of the posters that if somebody came in and was like, "Hey, can I get some free posters?" It was always in the box, and no one ever took. No one ever took.
They're in there. Always.
I don't want Always.
Not Jurassic Park. I don't.
Did I just age myself by saying I worked at a video store?
No, a video store when Always was out. That's even worse.
No. Always wasn't out. is my point. Well, always had come out years before.
Oh, okay.
It's
There.
just
All
that
right.
it was
You repeated
always in
yourself
the
for the last
box.
second. Good job.
Yeah, it was always in the box.
It was there from the 40s.
What I'm trying to say. So the other kids, right?
Mhm.
The other kids in this movie, surprisingly, kind of, sort of, don't do a ton, right? Like they don't move on to other bigger, badder things. Like
No, not really.
I recognize the one kid who's also in Real Genius, but like as far as like the kid who plays Greg, KC Martell, like
Yeah, he did like
he's in
3-4 extra things, and then that was it.
right, like he's on Growing Pains, but that's about it. And just go down the line. That's it. Like
He
that's
might be a
it.
bit of a growing pain himself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
He's gonna sue me now. I don't got nothing, Casey. So just so you know, not getting nothing out of it. How does I mean I know that you said that some of the special effects and stuff don't quite hold up for you here and everything, but I'll say this: now we can see stuff, especially at the beginning and everything, way better than we ever have.
Oh, sure. Sure.
I mean,
look,
nutty mess looking at all of the fake little weird plant thingies and stuff. You're going,
yeah.
We even watching now in 4K and stuff. It looks so good. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it does.
They made it look so much better.
It does, and the compositing that Spielberg does, specifically Spielberg does it a lot. The compositing stuff in his movies, it does not hold up to the scrutiny of 4K. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah.
And so you have things like when the kids are off, like they're being lifted up by the magic of ET.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks particularly clunky now, just because compositing.
Yeah,
it can only do so much.
Back in the day, put together, and exactly. You only have so much. You can't quite squeeze blood from a stone here. It's a bit much, but and if you start doing in that manipulation sort of thing, you can do it up to a point where you try to make the mat as flush and nice as you possibly can, so it blends really well. But like there does become a point where you become proactively doing something to your movie, which is not an avenue that Steven Spielberg wisely wants to go down anymore, having the backlash from the 20th anniversary of this. I'll say this though. The only thing that was kind of neat about it was the bathtub scene. There's this whole bathtub scene with E.T. practically drowning in a bathtub just due to stupidity. That's kind of neat. It's an interesting, like it doesn't belong in the movie. It doesn't really need to be there, but it's super fun to kind of see. And if they hadn't over exaggerated the googly eyes and stuff on E.T., which was the biggest problem of the movie, by animating E.T.'s eyes, oddly enough, you made him look less real.
Wow.
I don't know how that's possible, but they're like, oh, look, more emotions, more ability to move your eyes and stuff. Oh, it looks faker now. Good job. But seeing that little that scene in the bathroom was kind of cool. But outside of that, changing all the other things and the unnecessary changing the word terrorist to hippie, that didn't make any sense. I was like, what? But
I will say it is very, very jarring. As a modern movie watcher, watching the movie, seeing the government come after those kids with pump action shotguns, like it is really, really jarring. Like, hey, let's all settle down now that the main kid you're going after is 10, but you just feel it. The other part too, when it comes to special effects, and I guess you kind of can't call it a special effect, it's just basically a direction, is that you can tell that they told the kids to keep pedaling their bikes when the bikes are in the air, and it drives me crazy. And I don't know what, it shouldn't drive me as crazy as it does, but it does.
Can I say this? I like it.
Okay, you can.
I do like it for whatever, because it feels like it was something that you would instinctively do anyways, because you're used to going forward, and your kind of muscle memory sorts to take over. I think that's that. And plus I'll be honest with you, the reason that they're doing it, because it looks good. It looks better. it's visually more interesting. Their feet are moving, the wheels are moving, so you have more action and stuff going on than just a standard like bullshit silhouette and stuff. So there's action and movement to it. That's my best guess. I think my internet is frozen. I'm going to give it a second. Everything is awful. If I'm still broadcasting, chat, give me a big thing. Give me a thumbs up here. If it's just Sean that's frozen. Oh boy. Or am I the one? Am I the one that's bad? Oh, nope. It looks like it's just me now, huh? All right, here we go. Okay, he was frozen. It was me. All right, so we're gonna start back up again. Just give us a sec here. We'll see if he gets back with us. I'm sorry. Well, this kind of thing happens. Let's go through some of your chat. I just went through the IMDb top 250, and there's not a single movie in that list that I've seen that I have hated. I may need to skip the Dinger Zone. Here's the thing: I thought that too, and that was my initial way in for that, and then I stopped doing that. That's when I went to Letterboxd and used my own personal grading system, and then chose from that. That's the smarter move. All right, we'll give Sean just a couple more minutes here, and then if nothing else, I'll just jump in and we'll kind of finish the rest out, I guess. Okay, I'll address this. Any thoughts on the potential Netflix Letterboxd buyout? I do not like it. I understand why they want it. I don't want Netflix to be involved in that. No. Netflix has done enough damage to us all for so many reasons. Poor guy froze to death on the screen. It was embarrassing. It's embarrassing, I tell you. Since we're doing this right now, and we're kind of waiting for Sean to come back, why don't you just do me a big old favor? Do me a big old favor. Just be a dirty baby, like and subscribe if you haven't already, for the love of Pete. Come on now, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Think about it. The worst part is me having to edit all of this after the fact. Okay, we're he had the power go out. Things have come back on, but he's kind of rebooting here and everything. So we're just gonna give it one couple more minutes. And we'll get to your super chat. Don't worry, because I want to use that to springboard into another conversation. Don't think I forgot about you, buddy. You missed it because I haven't said it yet. Don't worry, it's coming. Once he comes back, because I'm going to use that to get into to the next little bit here. But we gotta wait. Okay. You know what makes me mad? Every Jackie Chan movie is released in the U.S. from 1993 to 2002 was cut by 15 to 25 minutes. Yep. You know who's responsible for that, don't you? Harvey Scissorhands. Mostly. Mostly. Yep. Oh, baby. All right. Come on, Sean. Where are you at, bud? All right. Here we go. He's trying. Heaven help him. He's trying. I'll let him sit in the corner for a second, see if that helps. Nah. My internet's doing amazing. Oh, here we go.
Hey man, you got me?
It looks like a little bit of a Claude Monet painting, but I think this will work. There we go.
Hold on, man.
Uh-oh. Maybe. Oh. Yeah, maybe if we just do audio, that's fine. Well, it's been a hell of a night, huh? All right. Well. I think we're just about to. I just may go with it. All right, if he comes back in, he comes back in. We'll kind of roll with it here. So I'll start with this. All right. While Sean figures out his internet deal, I'll just kind of go on with the rest of the show. If he gets back, it'll be great. If not, we'll just do what we got to do here. But let's kick off this with this.
Fortress Bucks.
Hey there, everybody. MVD dropped a good one on. I said my very first thought when we see that all of the kids flying, or excuse me, when we all see. Let's start again. Too much shit going on. My very first thought when we first see the kids playing their game was, what are these kids playing D&D in a Smoky Shakey's Pizza? I feel like that's about right, wouldn't you say, as far as what that place looked like, or at least what I thought it would look like? That's what a Pizza Hut looked like in 1988 for me.
It's very dark. The thing is definitely shot dark, and I think it's to hide their sins. Quite honestly, and it makes sense. It is incredibly dark in that house. MVD is totally right.
But he also made an interesting point though of like just he text messaged me earlier and was like, hey, it was interesting to think about how we lit the houses and stuff in the 80s. And I want to kind of get your take on some of that, because and really the whole production design of this thing, because like there's so much of this that I really like, and I was kind of wanted to kind of scratch your noggin a little bit, see what you think.
Well, I mean, if I'm sure not all of it is shot on location, but it's definitely designed like an actual house, and I can't remember ever seeing them open a door to that house and seeing inside.
No.
Do you? It's just them going through the garage, right?
Yeah.
Or the back door.
Yeah, through the back door mostly and everything. You see him outside of the front, but you never see him walk in or anything like that, because he just ends up going around to the back.
And I think what that tells me is that the design of the house is based on an actual house, but it's not that house. That's the exterior, probably. Or if it is, then they just built it all on stage because they had to, because that's how you manipulate the puppet, right?
And you have to, especially like when, like the first scene that that ET is in and everything, when he's back in the shed and whatnot, messing around with the ball. It's on a sound stage because it has to be. Right. Everything that's going on here, there's just too much at play. You're going to have too much of everything that's going on. You can't just wait till night to do that as much as you'd like to.
And remind me to talk about that shed in a minute. But one of the things that makes me nuts, is, even today this happens, is you see the exterior of a house, character walks into house is impossibly big on the inside, almost like it's the TARDIS, where it's like, guys, this is clearly not the same house. Like, what are we doing here? Like, how deep is this? It drives me crazy. And because of that, it drives my kids crazy too. So when they see it, they make their boyfriends and husbands crazy with the, oh my God, I can't believe that they think that we're that dumb, that kind of a thing. And this,
like that, it just goes straight back. So you look at it from the front. Even when I first saw the picture, I was just like, what, this tiny? I'm like, I can't live in this little box. But no, it just keeps going straight back.
Right. And this movie didn't do that to me, because it's kind of disorienting the way they shoot it, where there's so much, it's filled with so much crap, this house, that you kind of can't figure out all of the dimensions of the house, which is, knowing the filmmakers, is probably done on purpose, so that they can make it as big or as little as they need it to be.
Well, and the interesting thing too is that, like, something I kind of noticed, and like at least took a little bit more note of this time, is that this is a home of divorce.
Yes,
but it's not as it's recent enough to where dad's stuff is still all there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of his stuff that is still around, so he's kind of like that. It lends a little bit more to the story than I'd actually really thought about previous. I was like, oh, we still got all this stuff, like his tools and everything are still here. So like this is a quickish sort of thing for him. He hasn't made this whole kind of still fresh in the minds of these kids, I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's new enough to where they have to watch what they say around mom. Like, having gone through all that with kids do have those moments where they're like, can we talk about this thing? Or
Yeah.
and but once enough time passes, they know, like, oh, this is not a wound at all. Like, I will talk about this all day and it'll be fine. But the thing that I want to talk about is the shed.
Mm-hmm.
My entire life, I wanted a shed like the one that I remembered in ET. The problem is, what I remembered and what that shed actually is are two totally different things.
You're right, because this thing is not enclosed really. It's open to
Nope.
the air. There's all kinds of junk and stuff around it. Like, that's not going to protect your stuff really.
Let's call a spade a spade. That's a shitty shed. That is a terrible, terrible shed. I don't want to put anything in that shed. My stuff is going to get rained on if I have that kind of shed. But so a couple of years ago, I finally get the shed of my dreams. It's what I wanted. It came with the house we bought here. I even go as far as to what I thought the shed in ET had, which is I thought that it had a gooseneck lamp with a china hat on it over the front. And that's where all the light source was from. Nope. Also wrong. And so watching the movie last night, I'm like, well, that is not at all what was in my head. And I'm just gonna say it. My shed is way better than the shed that's in ET. I'm just gonna say it. All right. It's a way better shed. You want video? If you want photographic evidence, I'll take pictures tomorrow and send it to you, Adam Portress.
Where's your ping pong table though, my friend? You get ping pong table?
I don't have a ping pong table because I don't have kids and I don't want to play ping pong. So it's, I've got I've got an arcade machine. I've got an arcade machine. What else do you need from me? What else do you need from me?
Bumper cars. There's not a bumper car that's in your backyard. I don't know what kind of life you're living anyway. You know what I'm saying? I thought you said you were successful. Where's that bumper car track?
No one said I was successful. Who said that? Not me.
I made it up.
I would never say that. There's too much struggle happening for me to call myself successful. So when it comes to, there's the iconic shots of this movie, the poster where the kid in ET in their silhouette by the moon, like, of course that's iconic. I also forget the less, there's the less iconic stuff, like ET is front and center and Elliot is behind him as the ship is landing. That is an iconic shot as well, like perfectly shot. But over and over again, it's just like, that's the perfect way to shoot that. That's the perfect way to shoot that. And it happens again and again and again. Like, think of how difficult it would be to shoot. How do you get across, we're dropping these Reese's Pieces so that the alien finds me? That part is probably easy enough. But how do you convey, the alien also wants Elliot to know that I am friendly. So he picks up these really delicious candies. Reese's Pieces are still my favorite. And he gives them back to him. And that shot is so literally perfect. I was like, well, there's not a better way to shoot that. That's literally the way you shoot that scene.
Just the whole scene itself, unbelievable. Like the choice to give him, like, kind of the paralyzed in fear, not able to shout out sort of thing, to how ET just scrambles up to him and stuff. They shoot it like a horror movie. He's backlit and stuff, and you're like, this great moist looking hand just, which, by the way, he ain't holding shit when he's walking up there. If you get this out of ET's pocket, your back pocket there, ET, is that where you held those things?
Nice culottes, ET. Thanks, they have pockets.
Woo. But drops those on there. It's so good, unbelievable. And by the way, so I went because I wanted it for the prop and to have a little during the thing. Do you know how much this son of a bitch is?
I'm gonna guess. I'm just guessing. $7.50.
This was $15.
Holy cow.
It's one of those, like, you pick it up and like, you go like, how much? Again, I thought like, $5 to $7. That seems normal, seems rational. It went beep, and I was like, get the hell out of here. I mean, it's a lot, but my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Eminem said, listen, I don't know who this Steven Spielberg fella is, but we're not quite sure he has the track record that's capable of getting up with the Mars company here. So we're gonna go big pass on this one.
Well, that's not exactly right? Because what they actually wanted was that they wanted compensation for Eminem's being in the movie. Is correct? Yes, that is the way that went down. And so the good people at Hershey were like, "Oh, did we just find an opening?" And made for the movie Reese's Pieces, which are far superior. I'm not taking any comments at this time. Far superior to M&M's. I will not be taking any comments at this time. I could eat Reese's Pieces until I get so fat that I explode. M&M's, I'm good with a little bag. Like just
after a bag of M&M's, you're kind of done. Like
We're
even
done
a
here.
size bag, you're looking. It's hard pressed to get to the end of that because you're just like, all right, what are we doing here?
Yep.
What are we? When you get to a point, like, how much mid-ass chocolate can I be eating at this point? I'm good.
Yep. Whereas with Reese's Pieces, literally, I have to put a governor. I have to put a governor on myself.
Do you know how hard it was to have this bull crap in the house?
Look, you're my hero currently because there's no way I could buy a bag that big because I would just eat the entire damn thing.
I'm going to try to parse it out over at least a good while here.
Good.
Trying not to kill myself. Again, when we see that scene, another part that makes it great is again, John Williams' music is unbelievable.
I think that guy's going to go somewhere.
It's so good.
That guy's got
perfect.
That guy's got a big future ahead of him in heaven.
Let's go. Yeah, exactly. Boy, he's gonna be like, oh well, guess what? The maestro is here, everybody. We got the guy who's gonna be running it for us for a little bit here.
You killed how many people? But you also created the theme to E.T. and Star Wars and Jaws. Get in here, you old so and so.
Enough gets you right on in, man, because the score of E.T. alone will certainly get you there. It's so good. It takes everything. And when you hit that final crescendo there at the end, what an amazing way to just end the movie. Credits and you're done. So beautiful. Holy cow.
Killer.
But a couple other quick little things here. It's kind of fun seeing some of the problems with the ET suit. I kind of like a little bit of it. Sometimes the eyes are a little bit wonky and don't quite do exactly what you want to. And then there's other times where you go, is this the CGI version? Because it's so damn good. Like there's moments where it just kind of fluctuates back and forth. But some of that it's kind of it's part of the appeal of it. It's not Mac and Me, thank Christ. You could always say that.
What is?
Certainly not ET.
The ET puppet also, like it does more than I remembered it doing. So like, he's got that throb that happens like near his eye socket, like towards the back of his head, like back here, like stuff like that happens. And I'm like, oh, this sucker moves way more than I remember. And also the neck stuff, just again and again and again, surprising me with what all his neck can do. Man, where I had something and I just lost it. Shit. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Portress.
Coming into the Atom Zone. I love it. It's just where we go. But yeah, just seeing it's the variation of it. And again, it's one of those things that that when it's done correctly in movies, it makes you forget that the thing you're watching is a movie, that you're watching a special effect, because you don't know what's going to happen. When E.T.'s neck goes up, it's like, oh, well, there can't be a person in a suit. Well, not at that moment, it's not. But like that's part of the cool part about it. And that's when you want to see, when you're watching Lord of the Rings and stuff and go like, okay, was this forced perspective? Is this CGI? What's going on here? How are you doing all the things? It's mixing and matching as many of the different skills that you possibly can, smashing those all together so we blur the line between all of them. And there's nobody that's better at doing that than Steven Spielberg. And we'll certainly talk about that when we talk about Jurassic Park, because that was kind of the ultimate, bridging of those two worlds.
Yeah.
And so, but you see it from the get-go. It's called, we always want to make something that's interesting, that's believable. And, we make a lovable kind of creature out of something that looks like a melted Snickers bar, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you get to feel all of the emotion coming off of this thing. Gertie teaching him to kind of speak and read, and like what a great little fast forward to all of this stuff, but it keeps it simple enough. But you also have that connection, having the kind of the spiritual force between the two of them. When one is dying, the other one is, and because
let me
far away and all that kind of good stuff.
Let me talk about that for a second. So, because I remember being confused by that when I was a kid. Was that like, oh, okay, so as an adult, it's pretty easy to see, oh, there's an emotional connection. And his older brother explains it even, where he's like, listen, he knows what he's feeling. Like, he can tell clearly, Elliot can tell what E.T. is feeling, right? And that part's fine. And so as an adult, the only part I take umbrage with is that when E.T. gets drunk, why does Elliot get drunk? That's not the way that's supposed to work. Just because he's feeling drunk doesn't make you drunk. And so it's one of the things where I was like, we'll give it to you because you're E.T. But if this was a modern movie, ain't no one buying this. Like, ain't nobody buying this.
He's the kid that gets sold oregano and thinks he's getting high.
It's almost like, you're right. It's almost like the person who made this movie had never drank alcohol before. Oh wait, that is exactly what it is.
Hey man, after a year and a half, you get plastered, baby.
Spielberg claims, and for some reason I believe him, that he's never drank alcohol.
I could see that. Maybe a glass of wine or something, but I could
like champagne on New Year's. Like, I could see that too. Yeah,
but
I don't to the point of being drunk.
No, yeah, I don't see him necessarily sitting down and having a beer. Like, that's a weird.
Oh my god, I can't see. There's like anyone anywhere who is in Hollywood or like one of the higher ups. I can't see a single person who is on camera drinking a beer. I just can't see it. I can't see it.
This is delicious. Look.
Right. Like maybe Chris Pratt did when he was on Parks and Rec, but that guy hasn't drank a beer in 10 years. So like I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Steven Spielberg's a cocaine man. We all know that.
Well, you know that he wasn't, because he wasn't the one making the crazy choices. It was the people around him making the crazy choices. And he was just like, okay, well, look, I'm fine with shooting this for 14 to 16 hours because I'm Steven Spielberg, but you're willing to do that? Okay, let's do that.
I think Spielberg is somebody that I could always see being straight. Lucas, for sure.
Yep.
Lucas seems like a real teetotaler kind of guy. He might have been maybe a little bit of weed for half a second, maybe an LSD trip or two, but he, like, after once or twice, he don't be doing it anymore.
Also, there is something magical about seeing George Lucas in a food court, like at a mall. Like it's like, does he not know who he is? Why are you there, sir? Why are you enjoying Burger King? What are we doing?
Delicious, Burger King had some early flow in the early 80s and stuff like that, between like this and your Back to the Future. It's like Burger King had a little good press going on back then. Not so much now.
With just terrible food.
Exactly. It's never been great. Let's be honest here. You got to save that for the McDonald's over at Mac and Me. Oh, what a beautiful thing. Like, even as a child, like, we liked Mac and Me enough for what it was, but even as children, we were just like, it's not E.T. Let's be serious here. Like, even we as children, who it was clearly aimed towards, were like, nah.
I didn't watch Mac and Me until I knew to watch it ironically. I didn't watch it as a kid. I didn't watch it, like on accident at a friend's house, like never. And so by the time I'm about to watch it, I'm watching it for for the lulls.
Oh, yeah, and Lord knows there's plenty to be had. That's for sure. I mean, my favorite, obviously, is the handicapped kid falling off of the cliff.
Well, me too. But how do you beat the dancing at the McDonald's, man?
Yeah, the dancing of the well, no, you beat it with all the aliens in suits and the regular clothes. It's just like, I know what we'll do. Put them in regular people clothes. That'll make them normal.
So good.
What an amazing film. And I would love to really just kind of, if indeed you got Steven Spielberg to take a drink, I'd like to have a couple and sit down to a screening with Mac and me and him just kind of, let him go. It's like, hey, Stevie, what do you think about this?
You know what? I'm going to look that up right now. I'm going to see if anyone's ever asked Spielberg if he's seen Mac and Me.
He's like, listen, it's secretly one of my favorites. He pulls a Tarantino on you and just goes like, no, actually, this really crap movie is super, super great. And then you watch that super great movie and then you're like, no, it was not. Thank you for your participation, but no, sorry, old Tarantino. He has a lot of those, but that's because
Spielberg has famously never confirmed whether he has watched the infamous 1988 Alien movie, but he is certainly aware of it. When the director was once asked if he planned to take legal action against the filmmakers for blatantly copying his hit film E.T., he jokingly replied that he didn't want to get blamed for forcing anyone else to watch it to make the comparisons. So there you go. I could totally see Spielberg watching 3 minutes of it and going, we have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, like you watched exactly. The theatrical trailer came on and he was just like, oh no, we're okay.
Yeah, we're fine here.
This poses no threat to me. I think we will be a-okay. This is not their Dante's Peak to our volcano.
Right.
Or however, whichever one you prefer. They're both shitty kind of movies. I don't know why anybody really goes like, I like this one over that one. Like, they're both not really great. Same thing with Armageddon, Deep Impact. Both are neither really great, the movies. What are you talking about?
We might be talking about one of those movies a little later.
Uh-oh. But yeah, just kind of, I guess, final little thoughts here and everything. So many years later, how does it kind of hold up? Will you be? How often do you figure you might revisit this within the next couple of years?
I may watch this movie again this year when my girls come over, because if they haven't seen E.T., I'm going to force them to watch it, and they will be no doubt scrolling TikTok when they're watching this movie, because it is paced like an older movie, which, if it looks like an older movie and paced like an older movie, my kids aren't really down for that. But we're going to try. We're going to try to get them to watch it. We'll see what happens. There's that part. Second part to this, just shocking revelations to me watching it currently. Just how cookie cutter the houses all look, and they're real homes. You would have to pretend like you would have to build something out in a computer to make it look like that now, because they don't do that anymore. And so that part is cool. Although I gotta say, there's something really, although I could never live there, there must be something very satisfying about living in a community like that, where it's like, look, we all have kids. We're all in a safe part of town. Like, that must feel great at the time when you are going through that phase of our kids are little. We want everybody to be safe. We can lock the doors so they can't come into the house for 12 hours. All of that stuff.
Yeah,
that part must have been great. And it almost looks like a special effect now, because that's not the way that neighborhoods are built anymore, specifically because it just looks like homogenous, like everyone lives in the same place.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of housing developments that I've gone through that's just like, so you get two models. It either looks this way or looks that way.
Okay, all right, you got
Trust
a point.
me, there's plenty of ticky-tack
You
places
got a point.
around that are just like, oh my God, this is like, I couldn't live in like they have 0 yards. It's like you could literally, you remember you'd see all the old things of like somebody has a tin can on a string and there's another person on the other end. You literally can do that with the person that's right across the way. It's that short of a distance. I couldn't live like that.
Yeah, and basically, I guess I'm just like yearning nostalgic for suburbia, maybe, since I live in a city that I don't love living in. So like that might be part of it.
Yeah, trust me. You want to. All right. Well, that's a whole nother topic. Anyways.
Yeah. Well,
It works for me every time. Like I said previously, watching this movie like less than a month ago, and then I must have just Men in Blacked myself because every time it feels like watching this movie again for damn near the first time, even though I know everything in it, every single movement. It is just one of those comfort ass movies, and I don't know. It's like it's gone from several things over the years, from thinking about like, E.T. could be, a dog, your friend, and as you're getting older, a parent, somebody dying and going away. It's just like eventually you're going to have to say goodbye to somebody. And like it gets you, man. It'll get you. And like and you throw in the magic of Spielberg, the majesty of John Williams and stuff in there. It's going to do nothing but shoot you in the heart every single time. And there's a reason why the movie had the legs that it has and just remain one of the top movies of all time to this day. There's pretty good reason for that. It's not a bad film. So let's get down to it. Our rating and recommendation. For
come on,
the Extraterrestrial. Sean, what do you think?
I'm not playing this game. When it comes to these movies here, like maybe with Always we could do that, but like.
It's
fine. We're literally we literally are dipping our feet into the best movies ever made. Like there's no way I'm going to be rating Spielberg. There's no way. Hey, this is a triumph of humanity. I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars because the special effects look dated.
E.T.'s eyes a little wonky in that one part.
Get out of here.
Couldn't really buy it, if I'm honest. When they had to walk up the giant umbilicus to get up to the house and everything, I thought you could make that shorter. Why does that got to be such a length? Are we afraid the house is going to explode, and that's why you got to be walking down the what you call it there, the hamster tube and everything?
You already know the answer to that. It's because they didn't want you to be able to see inside that house.
And it friggin' looked cool and stuff too. Like all of it looks good. When the government comes in, the weird choice to put everybody in NASA's spaceman outfits when they come into the house, like Night of the Living Dead. It's so cool. Come on,
that is cool.
Great music, and then just like it's unrealistic. Dee Wallace not really, kind of just gasping a little bit there. If you were a mother, you'd probably be screaming a little bit more as opposed to no, you'd be going, "What? Get out of my house! You got!" You'd be going ape, I think. But it's the dramatic of the movie, so you got to kind of let it go a little bit. But for that 4.5 stars, no, it's amazing. This is one of the best movies of all time. Nobody's going to fight you on that, I don't think. And if you do, don't email us. We're not reading that. We're throwing it out because you're just a nonsense person. That is it, everybody. Next week, we're at the behest of Bruce. He was the one who brought it up. I don't think it would have hit me. But it turns out none of us have seen the 1989 Spielberg movie Always. So Richard Dreyfuss is back, and we got John Goodman in it. So how bad could it be, huh? That's what I always like to say. John Goodman, even if he's not great movies, he's usually pretty good in them.
And it's Holly Hunter also, right? Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting one. So we will check out that one next week. In the meantime, Sean, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I have got my own YouTube channel called Sean Likes Spaceships, and my lovely wife made me a new logo for that channel, and I'm very grateful for that logo. It looks great. She did it on The Secret, didn't tell me what she was doing. And one day, bam-o, there it is, and I love it.
Oh, I thought you meant like she did it via The Secret. She like wrote up on a sign, "I'd like to, do a Sean little thing," and then eventually it just happened, right?
Wow, that is a good dated reference, my friend. That is very good.
Put it up on your vision board.
Where's your vision board? Yeah.
Flush.
And this last week, the new one landed. It's about Alien Nation. Just a weird little movie that shouldn't exist but does. So check out my video on Alien Nation.
Can I ask you this? Because you would know more than other folk having worked with the man. How tall is Mandy Patinkin?
Not tall.
I didn't think so, but like he looks like he's gigantic in that movie, don't he?
Well, he's got like 15 pounds of prosthetics on his head, and also
yeah,
James
I know that
Caan
makes
is a slight man too.
That's the only thing I was thinking. It's like, God, James Caan's got to be the tiniest dude, because I knew that Patinkin wasn't that huge. He wasn't that big of a guy, but so I was like, man, Caan's got to be just a dainty little man.
He had to have been tiny, because Mandy Patinkin is not a large person by any means.
He looks like he could throw Caan out the window.
He does, but also, he's also like a virile young man when they shot that movie. And by the time I worked with him, he was like my age now. So ancient.
Mm-hmm. Big old heft on him now.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you check out TikTok Trash Tuesday? That's where I go and make fun of people on TikTok and stuff. Hey, look, while I'm getting all the other little quickie things here together, take a quick look at the thing that I do.
This meme of the Mount Rushmore of action stars of all time, and I don't know if Bruce Willis belongs.
We got Arnold, we got Stallone, Bruce Willis. Who is the fourth one? If indeed we keep Bruce Willis in here, I feel like we need to kind of stay within the limits of maybe this era, if you will. Reb Brown.
I think Arnold and Stallone are givens. And I don't know who the fourth one would be. Mel Gibson, Bronson.
Back in the day, I think I would have said Van Damme. Yeah, Van Damme. Van Damme. If we're going in this same kind of like 80s to 90s era range and everything, I feel like Van Damme's got to be the one on there. Because remember, that's what you would have been talking about in school, right? If you were given that kind of like, yeah, Van Damme's in that conversation. There'd have been a dumbass kid who would have said Steven Seagal and they'd been wrong, but I think Van Damme's the answer.
I mean, growing up when I did, in my mind, the Mount Rushmore would be Arnold, Stallone, Van Damme, and Seagal.
Yeah, see, I told you somebody would be saying Seagal.
So that's it. So we do a little bit of that fun stuff over there on TikTok.
You gotta go backwards a little bit. They're in the same era, sort of, kind of, but you gotta go Burt, man. Gotta go.
Who's
Burt? Burt Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
Burt
But
Reynolds should be the fourth person.
I think we were also trying to talk about, like, though, that they also have to, like, maybe hopefully action is kind of like their main thing, if you will. Like they, like, outside of that, because Willis being that third spot and everything was kind of the contentious part. It's like, he's done some great action films. Let's not fool ourselves. But Bruce Willis does so much more than just action. Whereas like Stallone and Schwarzenegger, those are, Van Damme for sure, those are just action guys. So
yeah.
I'd almost give Burt Reynolds a little bit too much credit, if you will. So check out TikTok Trash Tuesday. That's out at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday evenings. Stop on by. We'd love to have you there. That is it, everybody. Join us next week when we're talking Steven Spielberg's Always for Sweet Sean's and Kovacs from the internet. The absent Bruce Leslie. I'm Anna Portress. Get out there and watch some movies, you dirty babies.